Starmer is apparently threatening to give everybody a respect order that has signed the petition.
More ruthless than you. He's massively changed the structure of the party, thrown out Jeremy Corbyn.
Yeah, no, I think he's very, very tough. He's very tough.
Tony Blair just called Keir Starmer's leadership pathetic on live TV. Yes, you heard that right. The former Labour Prime Minister, once the party's golden boy, has turned on his own successor. But why would Blair, known for his controversial legacy, suddenly speak out against Starmer? The answer might shock you, and it's got everyone from political pundits to everyday voters talking. Stay tuned as we unpack this political bombshell and what it means for the future of the Labour Party. Before we move on, I'd like to ask you a small favor. If you appreciate this content, please take a second to like this video and subscribe to the channel. Over 98% of you watch the videos without subscribing. It costs you nothing, but it makes a huge difference to us. So, did you click the subscribe button? Great. Thank you so much. Now, back to the video. Tony Blair's return to the political spotlight after 17 years of relative silence has sent shockwaves through the Labour Party. Once the golden boy of British politics, Blair led Labour to 3 consecutive election victories. But his legacy is far from untarnished. The Iraq War and accusations of spin doctoring have cast long shadows over his time in office. Now, Blair has emerged from the political wilderness with a scathing critique of Keir Starmer's leadership.
Estimate him because he's not flamboyant, but he's pretty immovable when he sets his sight on something.
In a recent live TV appearance, Blair didn't mince words, calling Starmer's performance pathetic. This unexpected attack from a former ally has left many wondering, why now? Blair's motivations for speaking out are complex. Some speculate that he feels a sense of ownership over the Labour Party and can't bear to see it faltering. Others suggest he's positioning himself as a voice of reason in a party that's lost its way. Whatever the reason, his words carry weight. During his TV appearance, Blair didn't just criticize Starmer, he eviscerated him. Starmer's leadership isn't just falling short, Blair said. It's failing to provide a clear vision when the UK needs it most. This harsh assessment from a former Prime Minister has sent ripples through the political establishment.
People in the Labour Party used to say to me when I was leader, you're going too far to the centre to get these people. I say, you've got to understand, these are people who voted Tory.
But Blair's critique raises questions about his own credibility. Can a man who led Britain into a controversial war really be the moral compass the Labour Party needs? A former cabinet minister from Blair's time described Starmer as a Stalinist, highlighting the stark contrast between Blair's New Labour and Starmer's approach.
More ruthless than you. He's massively changed the structure of the party, thrown out Jeremy Corbyn.
Yeah, no, I think he's very, very tough. He's very tough.
The consequences of Blair's words could be far-reaching. Starmer, already facing criticism for his leadership style, now has to contend with disapproval from one of Labour's most successful leaders. This could embolden Starmer's critics within the party and further erode public confidence in his ability to lead. The immediate impact of Blair's critique has been significant. His words have resonated with a public increasingly frustrated with Starmer's perceived detachment from the issues that matter to ordinary voters. As discontent grows, the pressure on Starmer to change course or step down is mounting. As we delve deeper into Starmer's leadership style and the growing exodus of Labour supporters, one thing is clear. Tony Blair's unexpected attack has opened a Pandora's box of discontent within the Labour Party. The question now is, can Starmer weather this storm? Or will Blair's words be the catalyst for a seismic shift in British politics? Blair's words might have cut deep, but it's the response from within Labour's own ranks that truly reveals the extent of Starmer's troubles. A petition calling for his resignation has gained shocking momentum, with nearly 3 million signatories demanding change.
Very many people didn't vote Labour. I'm not surprised many of them want a rerun. He also said, "This isn't how our system works. There will be plenty of people who didn't want us in the first place."
But Starmer's reaction to this groundswell of discontent? He laughed it off. This dismissive response to such a massive show of public opinion has only fueled the fire of dissatisfaction burning within the Labour Party. Starmer's leadership style, increasingly described as authoritarian, is pushing supporters away in droves. He's even gone as far as issuing what some have called a respect order to those who dare disagree with him.
Is apparently threatening to give everybody a respect order that has signed the petition.
A move that smacks of suppression rather than open dialogue. The exodus of Labour supporters is reaching alarming levels. Longtime party members are turning their backs on Starmer, feeling alienated and ignored under his leadership. One former supporter put it bluntly, "It's like he's forgotten why we joined Labour in the first place. We're not just numbers on a petition. We're people with real concerns."
Spending commitments, and I think he's absolutely right. He's just saying, look, we can't, if we're saying it's as bad as it is, we can't just make unfunded promises.
No, but it's not just Starmer's leadership style that's causing this mass departure. His policy U-turns and broken promises have left many feeling betrayed. During his leadership campaign, Starmer made bold pledges that attracted progressives to his cause. Now, he seems to be distancing himself from those very same policies that won him support. This perceived abandonment of core Labour values has left many questioning where the party is heading under his guidance.
Surprised that many of them want a rerun. That isn't how our system works. There would be plenty of people who didn't want us in the first place.
The growing calls for Starmer to change course or step down are becoming increasingly vocal. Critics argue that his leadership is disconnected from the real concerns of the public, focusing instead on maintaining an iron grip on the party. As one disgruntled Labour member put it, "We need a leader who listens, not one who laughs off our concerns." The question now is whether Starmer can weather this storm of discontent. Can he adapt his leadership style and reconnect with the party's base? Or will the growing pressure force him to step aside? The answer to this question could reshape not just the Labour Party, but the entire landscape of British politics. As we consider the wider implications of this internal Labour strife, one thing is clear. The public's appetite for accountability in politics is growing. The success of the petition against Starmer and the mass exodus from Labour point to a broader shift in British democracy. People are demanding more from their leaders, and they're not afraid to make their voices heard. The fallout from Blair's criticism and Starmer's leadership crisis could be seismic for the Labour Party. With nearly 3 million people calling for Starmer's resignation and a mass exodus of supporters, Labour faces a critical crossroads. This turmoil reflects a broader shift in British politics, where voters are demanding more accountability and responsiveness from their leaders. Starmer's dismissive attitude towards dissent and his perceived abandonment of core Labour values have left many questioning the party's direction. The growing discontent could lead to a leadership challenge or force a radical change in Starmer's approach. Either way, the Labour Party may need to reassess its priorities and reconnect with its base to remain a viable opposition. As this political drama unfolds, we're left wondering, can Labour survive this internal strife and emerge as a stronger, more unified party? Or will this crisis mark the beginning of a fundamental realignment in British politics? The answers to these questions could shape the future of democracy in the UK for years to come.